So take it away, Zach.
All right. So after a long time, a lot of hype, uh, it's finally here. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Shredder's Revenge is finally out, and we played the crap out of it. We absolutely loved it. We were giggling like children the whole time we were playing it. We played it. It was myself, Paul, Adam, and producer Chamali.
Mm-hmm.
It took us not very long. Like, it was a short game.
A few hours, probably. It was like
2 hours and change, maybe.
Something like that.
And, you know, that's to play the plot through once. Now, there is a different ending card for each player. You do unlock another player. Can I talk about that? I guess I can.
Yeah, they announced it publicly, so it's not a secret.
Yeah, so you unlock Casey Jones, my boy, at the end of your first playthrough. So that gives you a total of 7 characters to run the story with, which is perfect for a game that length.
Well, it's also up to 6 people multiplayer locally, which is freaking rad, and online, actually.
The idea of, I mean, we're used to a 4-player co-op experience, especially in brawler games. That is just Route 1 bog standard, expected out of the gun. When they came out and said, nope, you can play 6 players, we're like, wait,
6?
We just called Colin?
What?
Yeah, dude. Oh my god.
Honestly, it was a very spur of the moment decision to play it when we did. Otherwise, we probably would have called Josh and Colin.
Yeah, I bought it.
Yeah, it's on Game Pass, so it was an absolute no-brainer for us. We went ahead and bought the physical production copy from Limited Run Games. Same people we did from Scott Pilgrim, and I got the Mega Man Wily Wars collection. They do great work over there.
I cannot wait till that shows up. I'm having friends over and having a pizza party, and we're playing that game. Josh, can you lean to your left, I think? Thank you. Perfect.
Yeah, so a couple days after it dropped, my niece came up to help us do some home repair stuff, and she's not like into the Turtles at all. And I was like, now wait a minute, you grew up in New Hampshire, you have learning to do.
Yeah,
this is our corner of nerd history. You respect the Turtles, and I said you're gonna have to come over and play Shredder's Revenge with me, just for a little bit, just so you understand where this nonsense came from. I'll show you the original comic books. I'll let you read them. But more importantly, you got to play the game.
It would have been cool to also have her play the old games first.
Oh yeah. No,
as like a build up, you know.
Yeah, we've got the the collection that's coming out. What's that called?
Oh yeah, the Radical Collection or something like that.
The Cowabunga Collection.
Cowabunga Collection. That's
the Cowabunga Collection coming out very soon. Also very hyped about that. I got to pre-order that, actually. I got to actually see if I've already done it. Anyway, Shredder's Revenge was developed by Tribute Games, the same people who did Scott Pilgrim, the same people who did Mercenary Kings, produced by Dotemu. Never heard of that.
Yeah.
For a June 26th.
I think they did Streets of Rage 4.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Right. 16 June of this year. We played it on PC, but it is available on Switch, PS4 and 5, Xbox Series X, Xbox One, Windows. Basically, wherever you get your games, you can play this game. Yeah. Now, it is not cross-platform, I will say. So, get it on the same platform.
I believe it is cross-platform with PC and Xbox, or at least if you're using the Game Pass version.
For Game Pass, right. But I think you're the best experience for that game absolutely has to be Switch. My buddy John picked it up on Switch, and he said he double purchased it. He bought it on PC and Switch, and he said it's far better on Switch than it is on anything else. Me personally, I would immediately default to the 8-bit controller. Play it old school.
Well, yeah, because we've always played these games on Nintendo consoles, right? The classics, the best ones are all on Nintendo. There was the Sega one that was okay, or arcade, but at home we're playing them on,
Well, I mean, you can get a USB arcade stick, but I'm sorry, I'm not going to shell out for that.
Also, Turtles in Time is better than on SNES than it is in the arcade. It's one of the few games that the the local port is better than the arcade.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 100%. Now that said, I have a question for you, Paul. When we played it, were you playing with your 8-bit dough, or were you playing with an Xbox controller or something?
I was playing with an Xbox controller.
I was as well. I don't have my 8-bit dough mapped to my PC. It's just mapped to my Switch at the moment, and my Xbox. But it just, like, again, it was a spur of the moment decision. We were just like, oh, we're just going to drop everything and play with what we've got.
Right.
So yeah, it runs perfectly fine with the 360 controller. Adam says he was playing with 8-bit dough on PC. So I will make note of the fact that about halfway through the game, I stopped using the analog stick and started using the D-pad, and it was a lot better.
Yeah, me too. I kind of switched back and forth sometimes, but yeah, it was way better with the.
Yeah, and I kind of had an inkling that you were doing that as well. My frustration.
You could tell when I was playing shitty.
Yeah, basically, when you and I were doing poorly, it was pretty clear we were using the analog stick. The problem is the D-pad on the Xbox controller is not in a comfortable position, and that is the sacrifice you give up moving from between PlayStation and Xbox. That's where PlayStation puts the side-by-side analog. I don't like that configuration in general.
I prefer it.
But now that I'm using a D-pad in where that would be, I'm like, oh, okay.
I get it.
I get it. I see why Sony made this decision. So I digress. What did I like about the game? It's classic Turtles. It looks like it's even Turtles Unchained. Like, it's what a Super Nintendo game that's not restricted by the graphics palette or the color palette,
right?
Would like the colors are bright and beautiful and brilliant. The pixel art is phenomenal.
Yeah,
the non-linear gameplay is so cool. We were actually breaking it down after the game. Every single turtle behaves slightly differently. The timings on things are slightly different. Donatello actually becomes smaller when he does his taunt to regain his I don't know, his mojo or whatever, his super ability. And becomes harder to hit. I think I got hit while I was taunting once in our entire playthrough. And I taunted a lot because I wanted to have that super.
I got hit a lot when I was taunting.
You did. Yeah, you were constantly getting hit. And Casey Jones is the same way. From what I understand, Casey's taunt is also much, much slower. But he hits a lot harder.
Right,
so they did a really good job balancing that. And really understanding where the hitboxes need to be. It also doesn't feel like you have to be perfectly lined up in the way that old school brawlers used to. You had to be like directly in front of somebody in order to hit them.
Hitboxes are a lot better. Yeah, for sure.
You couldn't be off by a single pixel.
Yeah.
And it really smooths out the gameplay a lot.
It looks like you can even hit people from the sides in certain instances when you're chopping with both swords out.
Yeah. While we're still on the what we like about this game too, like this game bleeds nostalgia, and in all the best ways. It doesn't like beat you over the head with it, but it like really honors the original material. And there's so many awesome cameos in this game and like fan service that's done well that like they really knocked it out of the park. They really paid attention to detail on this.
You can tell that the people who created this were fans. I mean, they got 4 of the original voice actors. They just did everything. They did everything they needed to bring the perfect Turtles experience in 2022.
Yeah.
It's a perfect mashup of the comics, the cartoon, the modern comics, the modern movies, the old movies.
Oh, did we talk about the intro?
Oh my God, the intro made me cry. They used the original theme song, and is it a new? I haven't.
It is a new animation, but it's so well done, and it's in the style of the old one. Yeah.
Yeah, it is absolutely a perfect intro. I was literally, I turned it on just to like fire it up on day 0.
It's a cover song too.
I didn't realize it was a cover, but even so, I was like, oh my God, that's the song. That's what I grew up with. And I'm sitting there bawling because I was just so happy with it.
Yeah.
What didn't I like about it? It was really short. It's a really short game. And I think that's the only thing I didn't like about it. Oh, the collectathon stuff is a nuisance. Because you don't know when it's going to pop up. It's very sidebar.
I wouldn't mind it if there was more of a reward for it, and if if it was rewarding more characters. Like we played that or at least Adam and I played that Radical Rescue, that fan made game, and it's got like every Ninja Turtles character you could think of playable, right?
Right.
And I wasn't expecting that, but I kind of was hoping that there was more than what they gave us. There's still a good amount of playable characters, and I'm sure there's going to be DLC for this game. But it would have been cool to have more characters off the bat.
Yeah. Adam does point out in the chat that it is actually long for a brawler if you compare it to River City Ransom. I mean, I beat River City Ransom my first time out in 45 minutes.
Sure.
Wow.
But yeah, it was pretty quick. But it's, I don't know.
Well, and we're playing it in the story mode. If you play it in arcade mode, it plays a lot quicker. Like, I would say it's got a pretty similar pace to Turtles in Time.
Yeah. This has 16 levels, and that's really cool. And it actually does a really neat job telling a story. Like, it is a continuous narrative. You have your classic staples of brawler games. You have, I think there's 2 different elevator scenes.
Mm-hmm.
There's the staples of Ninja Turtles bits where you're on the hover skateboards,
mm-hmm.
Which are a giant nuisance and really hard to control. But like, not frustratingly so. Like, they're a nuisance in the same way that, standard combat in any video game. Right.
Yeah.
I was just going to say standard combat in any video game is a nuisance. It is challenging. So it's not really a bad thing. It's just there. Be aware of it. So how's the story? I mean, it's there. It's Turtle's story.
Yeah.
Shredder gets
pretty
up to
standard.
some nonsense. Krang is there causing problems. Bunch of little, Bebop and Rocksteady are there causing problems. Super Shredder is there causing problems. Just, fan servicey story. Nothing to complain about.
Awesome.
If you're looking for deep immersion storytelling, it's not your bag, but
yeah, go read Last Ronin.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. If you want deep immersion storytelling, go read IDW Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
It's great. Gameplay is, honestly, I haven't had this much fun playing a video game in a long time.
It's excellent. It's so tight and so like precise and well done for a brawler. It hits all the marks that you would expect a brawler to, and refines them. It's exactly what you would expect of like a brawler made in 2022.
Absolutely. Art's terrific. Again, it's like unchaining the place or the Super Nintendo.
Mm-hmm.
It's detaching it from the established color palette, the established depth of 16-bit. I guess you could qualify this as 32-bit.
Sure.
But it's better than that.
Mm-hmm.
It's even better. So I 32-bit. I'm now comparing it to what? Battle Network. It's better than Battle Network.
Yeah,
by a long shot. Fantastic just is not, it's not a strong enough word to describe how beautiful the art is in this game.
Mm-hmm.
Same goes for the music. I mean, it is,
the music's awesome.
Do you want to talk about the music for a minute? You know it a little bit better than I do, I think.
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
I don't think I do. I just think that it's good. And there's a couple a couple like songs with vocals and stuff, and they're rad. Like there's like a rap song and a rock song, and like they're fucking cool. Like they're really good. And they're in the style of like what you would expect, like late 80s, early 90s kind of, like it doesn't take you out of that feeling ever. It's not like they're playing, some BS you'd hear on the radio today, The
Shredder song is Wu-Tang Clan.
Hell yeah.
No joke, it's Wu-Tang Clan.
Yeah.
It's so cool. Like, come on, what other video game are you gonna get Wu-Tang Forever on?
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's for Donald's face. It's one of his quotes in his podcast. It's neat. It's neat. Sound design is, again, it's just Ninja Turtles turned up to 11. It's exactly what you'd expect out of a Ninja Turtles game, and turned up to 11.
Yeah.
How long did it take us? I think, like we said, it was 2 hours and change. It's not long for one playthrough. Adam has played it with all 7 characters at this point, so you can figure it's closer to 14 hours for him probably. But again, not a lengthy game by modern standards, but definitely lengthy for a brawler.
Yeah, and it's still got plenty of content because, like, you know, you could go do the collectibles, you could play it on different difficulty modes, you play through with all the different characters, you can play it on arcade mode, you can play it on, you know, arcade mode on hard. You know, like there's, you know, those ways that they use to kind of fluff out the content, and not in a bad way, because those are the types of things you want in a brawler, you know.
Right. And like we said, guaranteed to have DLC.
Mm-hmm.
Like absolutely guaranteed.
At the very least, more characters that they'll drop. I don't know if they'll put more story in there, or maybe like another game mode.
I'll be honest, like as an Easter egg, I'm thinking about the people who have worked on this. I would love to play this game as the Wu-Tang Clan.
That'd be hilarious.
That would be really freaking funny.
Play as the RZA.
Yeah, play as RZA. Run through the streets of New York.
Oh,
that'd be really funny.
Some more characters. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely some more characters.
Choice.
Yeah, and maybe some additional like level content too. I can see it.
Rounded up to 20.
Usagi Yojimbo is who.
Usagi Yojimbo or Miyamoto Usagi would be very cool. Was the game difficult? Not especially. But again, we played it with. Right. If you're playing it solo, it's going to be more difficult than when you're playing it with 4 players.
and you can crank it on the hard mode. You know, we played it just on the default with 4 players.
Yeah, normal.
Mondo Gecko would be rad too. Yeah.
Oh, Mondo Gecko would be cool.
Or Metalhead playable. That'd be fucking awesome.
Metalhead playable would be dope. I mean, there's so many cool characters. Angel from the new IW stuff, Alopex would be dope. There's just a giant battery of characters.
Oh yeah, the other 2 turtles, the girl turtles,
Jenica and is there another one beyond Jenica?
Yeah, I thought there was. I thought there was 2.
Not that I'm aware of.
Wasn't there one in the live action that was different? Like,
oh, I don't pay attention to the live action stuff.
I swear to God, there's 2. Maybe not.
Yeah, whatever.
Alopex is Ninjara and Archie continuity, and this is the show Archie continuity. Okay.
Venus de Milo. Oh, got it. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, game not especially difficult, unless you make it more difficult, I guess. Mm-hmm. Would I play a sequel? Oh hell yeah.
Yeah.
But let's get some DLC in there first. Let's get some DLC out first, and then I'll play a sequel.
I will always play another Turtles game, even the bad ones I've played. You know, like the one that came out on GameCube. That one sucked balls, but I played the shit out of it.
But I played it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that does show our bias a little bit. I mean, we are giant fans.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I worked at the store that Turtles started at in 1984 for a while, and obviously that I was born after that, so it was a long time. Anyway, so. This is where we get to the big question. Overall rating and impression. So is it too early for me to call this game of the year?
Yes.
And it's also too late.
Yeah.
I'm afraid, Zach.
Yeah. I mean, I could see this being some people's game of the year, you know, especially people that aren't really like Soulsy people. So here's the thing: like you have Elden Ring, which is like the number 1 contender for game of the year, I think, right now.
Yeah.
But you also have God of War Ragnarok coming out later this year.
That's true. And
I think there's a couple other big games coming out that have potential. So, you know,
I just don't think anything's as big as Elden Ring.
It doesn't have to be big to be good, though. You know what I mean? Like,
I know, that's true.
In terms of games that I love Elden Ring. Don't get me wrong. I adore that game.
Getting you wrong.
But I'm never going to beat it. I'm never going to beat that game. I just don't have time. You know, and if I had time when it dropped, like that story might be different. But moving forward, I'm not going to have time to commit to it. Where a game like Turtles, I can drop in, drop out, play for a little while, put it aside, not worry about forgetting what's happened. So it's got points over Elden Ring in that capacity.
Last of Us 1 remake. Yeah, I would fucking walk out. Oh my God.
I'd quit
that would happen. I would quit video games. That would just absolutely happen too.
At this point in the year, if the year ended today, this would be my game.
Okay, fair.
Turtles would be my game of the year.
Okay.
Purely for the timing and the perfection of it.
Yeah.
Attention to detail, the true level of passion that went into that. And my very close runner-up would be Elden Ring.
Sure.
Just because that's where I happen to be at this moment. So my overall rating and impression here is a 9.8. Yeah. This is my top ranked game.
Yeah. I
cannot think of a game that would be better, that would fire on all cylinders better than this game.
Never played Ocarina of Time.
So for me, I'm gonna give it a very, very strong, very solid 9.5. The only reason I wouldn't go higher is because I like content. Like, not that the content is bad. I just want more. Like, it's that good. I want more content. Like, you know, that's really the only drawback for me. You know, and I realize it's a brawler. It's, you know, typical for that, but like I could keep playing this. The other reason would be, while this does everything right for a brawler, I don't think it does anything that other brawlers don't. You know what I mean? Like, honestly, if this wasn't Ninja Turtles, I would say that Streets of Rage is a better game, if that makes any sense. Like, Streets of Rage has more content, more characters, you know, this and that. Like, it's got if you ask me, even better fighting mechanics than this game has, but it doesn't have Ninja Turtles, so like,
and that's a huge part of it. That's honestly a huge part of it. So your ranking at a 9.5 puts that on par with Ghost of Tsushima.
Damn.
As well as Neo 1 and 2.
Does that sound right to you?
Say again, Josh? Sorry?
Does that sound right, I asked?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's that good.
It's that good, yeah.
How did I do that? Oh, okay. And for me, I mean, that puts it on par with where Josh and I put New Pokemon Snap, where Josh put Cuphead. Where Paul had the same as Paul and I had Link's Awakening remastered. You know, it's and it's just 1 point above where Paul put Elden Ring, which is exactly where I would put it. Honestly,
where did I put Elden Ring?
I don't. Well, Paul reviewed Elden Ring, Josh. So
wait, I ranked this higher than Elden Ring.
No, I did.
Insanity.
Oh, okay.
I did.
I did. I was about to say
by 1/10 of a point.
Okay,
and that's
okay.
exactly what I intended to get across there.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's funny.
Yeah. So is it perfect? No, but I firmly believe that no game will ever be perfect.
Yeah.
Every game has room for improvement. You did put Rescue Palooza at a 10. I put 30XX at a 10. Josh,
Rescue Palooza deserves a asterisk, and I would never give a 10 normally, but like, because that's a fan-made game and it blows most, you know, first-party games out of the water when it, like, in that style. You know, that's why it gets a 10. But like, if you compare these side by side, this is a better game than Rescue Palooza. Rescue Palooza
just what did I give a 10?
The only things that Donkey Kong. The only things that I am willing to give a 10 to are things that are either like not an official product or like preview material or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, this game goes above and beyond what you would ever expect from a you know, a fan-made game, like way above and beyond.
Yeah. And Adam points out in the chat that in terms of what was intended by a game versus what we got, both Elden Ring and Shredder's Revenge are just, I mean, flawless. Mm-hmm. They absolutely blew it out of the park.
Yeah.
Which is why I, at this moment, consider Shredder's Revenge my game of the year.
There you go.
Yeah, that's what's up.
But we'll see how that changes.
All right, well, let's switch back real quick. We do have a